Welcome back to the AI Research Roundup. I am your host, Alex. Today we're looking at a really interesting paper called Do MIL Models Transfer? It explores a key challenge in computational pathology, which is the field of using AI to analyze medical images of tissue. The paper focuses on a method called multiple instance learning, or MIL. This approach is designed to analyze huge gigapixel tissue slides, but often struggles with the small datasets common in clinical settings. The researchers systematically tested if transfer learning could help, and the answer is a resounding yes. Pre-trained multiple instance learning models consistently outperform those trained from scratch. And for those of you who want to explore the code, the authors have set up a public repository called MIL Lab. Their goal is to create a go-to resource with a whole collection of high-quality, pre-trained multiple instance learning models. They plan to release the models and detailed tutorials around mid-July, making it much easier for other researchers to build on this important work. Alright, so this first figure really sets the stage. Along the bottom, you see a whole list of different multiple instance learning model types, or architectures. For each one, the chart compares two things. The black dot is the model's performance when it's initialized randomly, basically starting from scratch. And the red dot is the performance after it has been pre-trained on a large pan-cancer dataset. That's a dataset covering 108 different cancer types. The improvement from pre-training is immediately obvious. Those red dots are consistently higher, showing a major performance boost across the board. Alright, so building on what we just saw, this heat map gives us a much more detailed breakdown. It shows how well a multiple instance learning model transfers from a specific pre-training task, which you see on the bottom, to a new target task on the left. The color in each square shows the relative improvement. Red means a big performance boost over starting from scratch, while blue means it actually hurt performance. The measurement here is based on ORAC, a score that basically shows how good the model is at telling different classes apart. The key takeaway is the strong red on the diagonal, showing that pre-training on a similar task gives the best results. Okay, so that heat map gave us the big picture, and this table really lets us dig into the specific numbers. Down the left side, you see various medical imaging datasets, like BRACs for breast cancer, and across the top are those different multiple instance learning models. For each combination, the table shows two scores. The base score is the model's performance when trained from scratch. The PC108 score is after pre-training. The most telling number is the change, which is shown in green for an improvement. And as you can see, it's almost all green. Confirming pre-training really boosts performance across most models and tasks. So we've seen that pre-training is a big win overall. This next plot explores a really critical scenario called few-shot learning. This is where the model has to learn from just a handful of examples, which is super common in real-world medical applications. Here, the size of each dot shows how many training samples were used, just 4, 16, or 32. The black dots are random starts, while blue is pre-training on a 43 cancer dataset, and red is the big 108 cancer dataset. The benefit of pre-training is most dramatic when data is scarcest, making it an essential tool for these tough, low data problems. Okay, so we've established that pre-training is a game changer, especially when data is scarce. This next chart looks at another really interesting question. Does the size of the model matter? Along the bottom here, we have the number of parameters, which is just a measure of the model's complexity. The red line shows the pre-trained model, and the black line shows one started from scratch. What's striking is that the pre-trained model's performance stays high and relatively stable as it gets bigger. The randomly initialized model, however, actually gets worse as it scales up, suggesting that without a good starting point, larger models can struggle to learn effectively on these complex medical imaging tasks. So we've seen that a good pre-trained start helps larger models learn better. But this table shows that how you transfer that knowledge also matters. It compares two common approaches. On one side, we have K nearest neighbors, or KNN, which uses the pre-trained model to find the most similar known images to classify a new one. On the other side, there's fine-tuning, where you actually continue training the model on the new specific task. In almost every case, using a pre-trained model, like GigaPath or Chief, gives a huge performance boost over starting from scratch, no matter which method you use. Alright, so we know pre-training is powerful no matter how you apply that knowledge. This table digs into yet another layer, the specific encoder you use inside the model. An encoder, well, it's the part of the model that looks at all the little patches from a huge slide image and boils them down into a set of key features. Here, we're looking at 3 different encoders, ResNet50, UNIV2, and CONCHV 1.5. For each one, we're comparing its performance starting from scratch, which is the base column, versus using that big PC108 pre-training. And the takeaway is pretty clear. Pre-training provides a consistent boost across the board. Pulling it all together, the evidence is really compelling. Whether we're looking at data scarcity, model size, or different internal architectures, pre-training provides a massive and consistent advantage for these multiple instance learning models in pathology. This work really solidifies the idea that we don't need to start from scratch every time, paving the way for more powerful and reliable diagnostic tools. That's all the time we have for this week's AI Research Roundup. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.